Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Reynolds Kamakavivoli. I am from the Hamakua district of Honokaa in that area. The reason I'm here today is there has been a resolution that has been put up to the council regarding the naming of the Fissure 8. I came to you today to share a message. I'm very closely connected to Pele. And I want to share the wishes of the naming of Fissure 8. Pele expects the utmost respect and aloha from all of the people. This issue is of high regard to respect of all in the universe and here on earth. It sets the future of our being and provides an understanding of creation and respect and aloha. She has made for the time for us to come together, and not only for this matter, but most of all, to bring the light and focus on the light of aloha and respect. The name of this site must come together spiritually, and that will be done by its people and due regard for all those of the highest. It will be chosen, and hopefully by a council of bloodline kahunas to facilitate the direction and complete the process. The kahunas are to be chosen by the people and must have the highest integrity and knowledge and the respect for Pele and Keakua, which is God. It is expected that none of these things are hastened, and that it does take time because it must be spiritually pono and must be right the first time. In order for Keakua to rebuild this world, this area is the first part of it. The group will have at least 4, and they will have the opportunity to separate which is spiritually pono. Having said this, those that will be called will be selected accordingly to their backgrounds and allegiance to Pele and Keakua. I am deeply concerned about the deity that's been mentioned in the media and by many, many people.
If you could summarize, please.
Okay. The deity that has been brought about is other than Pele, which is another form that's there. I have dealt with that deity in prior battles. And as of that time, he was put away for 1,000 years. He has returned, and he has shown his sign. Fissure 8 is not a place where it has to be hastened for a name. It must be done properly, because it expects the law and respect that which is of Pele. Her message are you ready for the light? All decisions will be made. Hawaiians have the major responsibility to Pele and Keakua. Know this, feel this, it's there, make it right the first time. Thank you.
Mahalo for your testimony.
Aloha kako.
Aloha.
My name is Ku'ule Kanahele. I currently reside in Panaeva, and I am a hula practitioner of the a Pele hula practitioner and a researcher with the Edith Kanakole Foundation, and since the 90s. And it's my job there to research the myths and the chants of Pele. And I'm here to give my support for this resolution 640 that urges, let me just read it, a resolution urging the State Board on Geographic Names to consult with community members who have direct, traditional, cultural, and familial ties to the District of Puna to establish an appropriate name for Fissure 8 and other features of this current eruption. In our culture, in the Hawaiian culture, bestowing a name is a heavy responsibility, right? We know names convey information. Names give the characteristic and history of a family or of a place. And Hawaiian families, we do not look in a book for names. We do not, traditionally, we do not name our children after movie stars or actors. Yeah, names are very important, and they're often given by close family members. And names are taken either from genealogy or from the natural events that occur at the time of the birth. And this is important because that is why we do not give names prior to the birth of a child or the birth of this fissure or this birth of this new land. Another thing I wanted to point out is that it is imperative that community members who have direct traditional, cultural, and familial ties to Pele and to Puna be asked to name this fissure and the other features of this current eruption, because when community members are not asked and their opinions are not sought after, we have modern names like Pu'u'o and Lo'ihi, and names that are not culturally appropriate at all. Pu'u'o, named after the letter on the map, means to continue, and we see that, yes, that's the characteristic of Pu'u'o right now. And Lo'ihi, which means long, has no, it doesn't give justice to the volcanic traditions of our islands. And so with that said, that is why it's imperative for these community members to be asked for a name. And for these reasons, I'm here to support this resolution 640. Mahalo.
Mahalo for your testimony. And Marcia May to the testifiers table.
Aloha, Wakia Ohana. Mahalo for this opportunity. I wanted to share, I'm a Pele Iholani from Kalapana, and I hope the people that are going through the emotional things they are now realize they are not the first to lose their home or their physical being here. And I'm here today to support, of course, the naming of the Fissure 8. And I talked to Pi'ilani last night. And today was a revolutionary day for me because Pi'ilani was one of my students at Pahoa High School when I taught science. And Nohealani Ka'avaloa was one of my 4th grade students, and I just corrected her on her name because her mom put Lani on there because she's a heavenly Nohea. And I told her, you can be anything you want to be, and she is. So it's a blessed day for me. And I wanted to share, too, that I've been on 24/7 since the earthquake, so I'm, not really functionally great. But people are not appreciative of the fact that they're in a community where this has been going on for a long time, and they're being supported more than they know. And a kahuna lapa'au just came to Puna from Kauai. And if you are selecting people by the, what their practice is, and his is ho'oponopono, he would be someone good to be on this. And also to mention the fact that God is the creator, and mention also his name because he's creating new land. I think we're going to be a continent. So I really appreciate that you're doing this correctly. Thank you.
Aloha, I'm Pi'ilani Ka'avaloa. I represent myself. I am here to support Resolution 640, but I would also like to ask that there be an amendment to not have it just strongly recommend that they consult the community, especially those that have genealogical ties to the area, and as well as ike of the place, the entity, the mo'olelo, but to make it mandatory that they consult. I've been in a situation that goes back to Kalapana, and my grandmother, Minnie Ka'avaloa, worked for the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park during the time when the lava flow was in 1983 till present. And she was involved in the naming of, not the naming of Pu'u'o'o, but the fixing or the ho'oponopono of the name, because I have a presentation and I'll explain the story in the presentation. But we had to go through a lot, the families and the community of Lower Puna, of Kalapana, Kapa'ahu, Kupahua, Kaimu, all these places, because of a name that was given that was inappropriate. So our kupunas had to go through lengthy prayers in order to ho'oponopono, to fix the name. And even through that ho'oponopono process, the names was still used. So I'll share that particular story when I do the presentation. So again, I'm in support of Reso 640, but I would like to see a stronger verbiage with mandatory consultation to the communities. Mahalo.
Mahalo for your testimony. And I know we're going to look forward to hearing from you later on with the presentation. So we'll figure out how we're going to, or when that's going to come back for us to do. But Mr. Kalua.
Aloha. My name is Manaya Kalani Kalua, and I'm from Hilo. I was born and raised in Keaukaha. I'm representing myself. So I'm here to support resolution number 640 in the naming of features above and beyond Fissure 8 that are resulting or being born from this particular eruption. I agree with what Ku'ule Kanahele had said about looking at advisement, getting families genealogically tied to the landscape, genealogically tied to the traditions and the migrations that have gone into Puna, and in looking at the naming process, trying to find a name that is suitable, like we would give to our own children. We sort of don't want to have names coming out of this that are going to not truly personify what's going on. We want to mark our era in the same way that our ancestors had marked theirs, and that these names that have come up, even areas that have been renamed over time due to social and political changes, due to different migrations coming in and infusing into the landscape, we sort of want to be a little conscious about that. And I also agree with Pi'ilani that there needs to be some kind of advisory, I don't know if you'd call it a council or a committee, from the different areas so that we can kind of, I mean, this could set a precedence for the entire island chain. But to look at having people from the area to look into not only the historical side of the people, but looking into the history of the area. A lot of the place names that were previously found in the Keahialaka area, you know, they all came from multiple stories and multiple historical accounts, oral histories from our own past. And I think that maybe that's a place that we should, or I'd like to suggest that we look at through that council. That's all.
Thank you. Mahalo for both of your testimonies.